What if I told you that you don't need acres of land to grow your fruit trees? Today I'm going to show you how you can grow fruit trees in pots and in a small garden. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Small Urban Greens Homestead. I'm Sammy and I'm going to show you that you don't really need acres of land to grow fruit trees. You can grow fruit trees on a balcony, you can grow them in small containers, you can grow them in small gardens, and today I'm going to take you through how you can do this. I've made a video in the past. Go and take a look at that video. I have gone and planted in a container a lemon tree, and we made a little green mini homestead on a balcony. So it is possible, even in the smallest spaces, to go and create a nice oasis for yourself. You can also go and check out another video that I made with Ali from Next Chapter Homestead. We went across to her place and she showed that you could grow whatever you want in a small garden, and she focuses mostly on containers and hanging pots. So go take a look at that video as well. But today I'm going to take you around our small little homestead, show you all the fruit trees that we grow in containers in a small space. I'm going to show you how they're woken up, what to do to make sure that you get the best fruits, and how to look after them going forward. So you can see on this side we've got quite a few pots, and in each of these pots we've actually got fruit trees. Now we did have the fruit trees somewhere else, but what happened is that we are doing construction on that side, so I had to move every single pot this side. And what I've done is that I've just put them in front of my raised beds, and it seems to work perfectly, and they all seem to be happy on the side because they get more than 8 hours of sun. So growing fruit trees in containers or in a small homestead space has so many benefits. You can move them around to get the best sun. You can control the soil quality, and they are easier to maintain. Plus, dwarf or compact varieties are perfect if you're short on space but still want a good harvest. Okay, so let's go through my top picks. Over here in these huge pots, we have a orange tree. And we'll start with the orange and the lemon trees. You can see how small this orange tree is. This is called the bloody orange, aka Caracara orange. It is an orange that basically is blood orange in the middle when you open it. And citrus absolutely thrive in pots. They stay evergreen, they look beautiful, and they provide fruit for months. So just make sure they get a lot of sunlight. And I have mine sitting on this side where it gets more than 8 hours of sun. So consider growing a orange tree in a pot. On this side I've got a Maya lemon tree that I have in a very small pot. And you can see how big it is. And this basically is evergreen as well. It bears lemons all year round. Mine hasn't given me lemons as yet because I only started this tree from a seed in 2023. It's 2025 now, and you can see how big it is. The trunk is nice and thick. It is now a tree, and I probably will expect it to give me flowers and fruit next year. But this is quite a nice size, and it grows up to about 2 meters high. It gives you lemons all year round. What I'll do is that I'll make sure that I'll put it in a bigger pot, one pot bigger than this, and that I'll make sure that it doesn't grow taller than probably 1 meter high, just so that I can control it, and it is perfect in a pot. Swing on this side, and I have a rough lemon in this pot, same size pots. You can see all my pots are roughly the same size here, and this is the rough skin. And I also started this seed in 2023. And you can see how beautiful it's looking. It is smaller than the Maya, but it has shot up and it's absolutely looking gorgeous. It's also starting to thicken up by the base, and it seems to be very, very happy in this pot. Then over here in a bigger pot, we have my Adam fig. It's a dwarf variety, and figs love containers because they naturally have shallow roots and they're hardy, low maintenance, and you'll get plenty of sweet fruit off of this variety. So over here I have my fig Adam dwarf variety, and I've just gone and put it in a bigger pot. And what I do before it actually wakes up, I actually did a liquid fertilizer before I left to go on holiday, and that was in late winter. And then when I came back, I actually did the soil change, took about 15 to 20 centimeters of soil out, gave it some fresh soil, and this is all my fruit trees, and I topped it up with fresh compost in that, mulched it, made sure that each pot had some slow releasing fertilizer pellets in it, and then a week later gave it some multi-boost fertilizer. And I can actually see a huge difference in all my fruit trees just by doing this method. So over here I have my 8-ball pomegranate plant, and it is also in a pot. So they are drought tolerant, they love warm climates, and they're really easy to grow. And they'll start off with a beautiful, let's see if I've got one here, you can see beautiful red buds. They'll just get bigger, they'll open into these most beautiful red flowers, and then the bees and the other insects will come and pollinate it. And if pollinated correctly, the base of the flower will start swelling up and it will get bigger and rounder, and that will slowly form into your pomegranate fruit. These are really great to have in pots. You can see I have it in a very small pot, and it's thriving. It's absolutely happy, and it's one of my favorite fruits. On this side I have an apple tree. This is the granny dwarf apple tree. On that side I do have the gala red apple tree. And if you're in the right climate, apples are a great choice. I would suggest to go for grafted dwarf trees so they stay small and productive. You can see I've got mine in these pots, and right now they are thriving. So I did the same method in fertilizing it. The flowers have all opened, some still need to open, some flowers have fallen off, and all of these should start turning into apples. Now here's a very interesting thing, that for the last 2 years my apple trees were not producing any apples. Same goes for my cherry tree. And the only difference that I've done is the way I've looked after what is in my pots, fertilizing them and making sure that they're in the right position, the right location, so they can thrive. So it's very important to take care of your fruit trees, because what happens is that if they do not get fed the right nutrients, they cannot absorb all of that and turn into beautiful apples or fruits. You can see over here, it's a great example of all the flowers that have fallen off. And right at the bottom here, you can see that there's little balls. These are the apples busy forming. So apples are definitely a must to get for your garden. On this side we have a beautiful alpine dwarf nectarine tree. It's quite big. We've got it in a container because we don't have much space to actually plant it in the ground. But these stone fruits are delicious and surprisingly container friendly. If you prune them correctly and keep them in shape, you won't have a problem growing them. Unfortunately, we had a few mouse birds that decided they were going to take 90% of the fruit off the tree while they were still small, and left us with only 4 or 5 in these bags. You can see there is my nectarine. There's 2 in there. I think there's 1 or 2 in that one, and there's 2 in that one. So we might have 5 or 6, and they're sizing up nicely. What happens is that when they're at a certain size, I normally go and put the fruit bags on them. But I was on holiday, and it happened within a day where all my baby fruits were eaten before we could actually put any protection over them. But yeah, this is a nectarine tree, which I highly recommend, the alpine. So these were my top fruits that I like to grow in pots, but I have so many other fruit trees that I'd like to show you guys that you could possibly actually also grow in pots. So let's go around here, and I've just purchased a apricot tree, and this is the Babeca apricot tree. It's already given me 2 fruits, and I've just planted it in this pot. The pot that it did come in was one of these very small bags. I think it was a little bit taller than this, but that is what it actually was growing in. So now can you imagine me putting it in a pot like this, how amazing it's actually going to grow. And it's pushed out new leaves, and it's looking amazing. So apricots in a pot. Also got on this side, I've got a goji berry bush, and this goji berry bush literally takes off. It gives me the most beautiful white and purple little flowers, and then that turns into a nice little red goji berry. And I've actually got it in a raised bed there, as well as my tomato tree that I have just purchased with the apricot. So you can see how amazing it's doing, and it's also got some fruits that's growing up there. I'll show you now. But I bought 2 tamarella trees, aka tomato plants, and I've got the other one in a pot like that. So let me just quickly show you a close view up on the flowers. So you can see over here, this is the tamarella tree, aka tomato plant. Got some beautiful flowers there, and some more over there. And I'm sure it's the orange variety. You get different types of varieties. And then I do have another one. I bought 2 of them, and I put the second one in a big pot like that. You can see I've got another branch coming out there, and some flowers there as well. You can see. So beautiful to have in pots, as well as custard apple trees. So I've got a custard apple tree growing in a fabric pot, and it's just woken up as well. You can see all the new branches that it's forming there. And I've got a second one in a smaller pot over here. So these 2 custard apple trees were actually gifted to us from somebody. Then on this side, in a bigger pot, we've also got a plum tree. So this is the plum tree, and the plum that we get on here has a dark skin, like a dark purple skin, but on the inside it's yellow, and it is so sweet. The sweetest plum that I've actually tasted. And I do see signs of small baby fruits on here. There's a fruit, and there's another one, and this was filled with beautiful flowers. Okay, and then the last one I want to show you guys is the grapevine. So the grapevine's not in the ground, but it is in a raised bed, only because on this side of my homestead we have loads of water that just gathers, and what happens is that my trees get root rot in that. So some of the trees that are in the ground, they were there before we ever made this decision to have a homestead. So we work around our existing fruit trees that we managed to put in the ground. But over here we've got a beautiful grapevine. This is the red variety. It is the last fruit tree vine to actually wake up on the homestead. And if I'm not mistaken, this is what I've been told. My last year cane is this one, and it has new canes. So on these canes I should start seeing bunches of grapes. This should be my second year vine cane, and the cane at the back is a first year cane. So that's where I'm expecting the fruit to grow on. And before you know it, you won't even see this back wall. It'll be just big leaves. So that was my top fruits that I grow in raised beds. So comment below and tell me which fruit tree you're going to grow in pots. So I hope this video was helpful and that you start your journey and just start somewhere, even if it's on a balcony or in a small homestead. If you enjoyed this video, go take a look at my other videos on how to grow fruit trees in containers and how to look after them. So guys, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe so that you don't miss out on any more of our tips, and we will see you in the next video.